Hello, everybody.
Chinese, man.
Don't know what is up with my monitor. It has gone all yellowy again. It looks like it could be in the market for a new monitor as well. Oh, fucking joy. Be with me for just one moment, ladies and germs. You can see that yellow tinge. Weird.
It's the bane of owning computers in any general format.
Oh,
you know, you just always putting money into them.
Absolute pain in the fucking ass, I tell you. There's definitely something going on with the monitor itself, because it's been fine all day, and then my other monitors look brilliant. So I might have to drop my third monitor and go back to just a dual monitor setup, which will really fucking suck. Yes, you did, Nutty. My gaming monitor is doing strange things. Things that it should not be doing. I've got a couple options I can play around with later, but we'll have to make do. So, guys in the chat, you're just going to have to you're going to have to put up with the whole yellow tinge, like you're looking at the thing through a stained glass window. But anyway... Beatsy Boy says hi. Hi, Beatsy Boy.
Is that's software related? If it's coming through on that, it shouldn't pass through onto.
That's what I mean. It could be. So I don't know. There's something going on that shouldn't be going on. So it could be a driver thing. It could be.
You know what it is. It's because the jug was boiling, and the steam from the jug and noise from the jug created a difference at the 1000 hertz level, which alters the color of the monitor. I knew she'd react to that. That's great.
Yeah, I mean it is mirrored onto the capture card, so it will whatever it shows on the capture card. That's why it's coming through on the OBS.
Yeah, I don't think it's monitor. I think that's software related.
Soon find out. Because what I'll probably do is uninstall. I'll do a re-graphic. I'll redo the drivers and everything.
I can.
No, it's monitor related because I just turned the monitor off and turned it back on again, and now it's fine. That's definitely
probably cable then.
Probably cable.
I think you turned cam off as well.
So turn cam off?
No, I turned myself off. I'm just fixing the camera.
That's okay.
He's a little yellow, so as long as everybody can be heard properly, that's all I'm really worried about. So now, obviously, it's definitely a monitor or cable issue, so I'm going to play around with that tomorrow. But obviously turning it off and turning it back on again works beautifully. We'll just do that for now. Anywho, we are missing a Fibblestib this evening, as his job has taken him away from us for a night. So if we get into a combat situation, I will give that control over to Miss Yanti. She can make his combat rolls for him. Because I can't, because I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I could bring a sheet up. But...
I mean, she does have a minion in the background. She could probably incorporate him into it.
What minion?
Other side, Yanti. On the couch. Well, the one with the bookcase. Side with the bookcase.
I know what you're talking about. Anyway, the minion. What's up, clams? Fucking bugs flying around here. So, without any further ado, we should get into tonight's session and see what happens with these guys. Been very interesting the last couple of sessions indeed. So last we left off, you had just been confronted by Lord Strahd, who, for as far as you, well, for now, has left you alive. You also managed to remove the holy symbol of Ravenkind from Zadriel during the course of the battle. Heals are given as many of you had been wounded, and the night was not far off. It was eventually decided that spending one last night in the Amber Temple was probably your best call, rather than trying to head down the mountain, which at night would probably not be wise. You move back into the secret room where you'd once spent an evening previously, leaving Timmy in the doorway and as an alarm, and also an alarm set on the room to ward against intruders. A small fire was lit to provide warmth and a relative amount of light for the evening. Discussions were had about setting up watches, in which Karnos decides to take first. Karnos talks about wanting to go to Kresk and examining the map. You know it's a relative journey from where you are. Karnos also has a discussion with Strahd during his watch. He offers free passage to the castle in order for Karnos to potentially take his place and succeed him as the Lord of Barovia. Karnos decides to wake Zadriel for a watch, not wanting to wake Skaithis as he seems suspicious of Skaithis' recent death. But Zadriel refuses and pretty much wakes Fibble instead. Karnos moves over, shakes Fibble awake, who does take a watch for, even if it was for a short time. But during that time, for the first time since being in Barovia, Fibblestid also has a conversation with Lord Strahd. The conversation goes about as well as expected. Strahd seems interested in his diary and that Fibble carries, mentioning it directly, and once again offers safe passage to the castle in order for its safe return. After Fibble's watch, instead of going back to sleep as he planned, he wakes Skaithis. Skaithis then, over maybe a few hours away from sunrise, you start your watch and the room fills with a sulfuric smoke, and from it steps Asmodeus. The conversation goes back and forth for a little bit of time, and once again he offers to take you home, and also reveals that the monks that raised you never actually cared for you, and that he himself was the one that trained you and looked after you before the monastery was burnt to the ground. You can only assume that that was his doing as well. But Skaithis refuses this offer, and immediately, I would imagine, regrets the refusal, as the blackened necrotic energy that is surging through his body is both painful and increasing. Zadriel being the first to wake pretty much right before sunrise, as if the room's starting to light. You still got the campfire there. She notices the dark energy up and around Skaithis' collar, and after a bit of prodding, Skaithis reveals the mark that has been left by Asmodeus. Several attempts by Karnos and Zadriel to heal Skaithis only proved to be more painful, however, and this mark seems to be spreading and making Skaithis very sick indeed. Back and forth a few times, Adok eventually decides to cast a ritual circle of detect magic, which doesn't reveal anything unusual around Skaithis, just the normal magical items in the room. But he does reach out to touch the dark mark, curious as what would happen if he did so. His curiosity was definitely satisfied, as he was then thrown across the room with considerable force, slamming into the wall on the opposite side, taking considerable damage. Karnos had drawn the Sun Sword at this point and was waiting to see what happened with Adok. Then both Karnos and Zadriel move in together. Zadriel embraces Skaithis as Karnos lays the Sun Sword upon his head. Karnos is also sent across the room, taking not huge damage, but enough to let him know that something is not quite right. However, Zadriel's embrace was not just an embrace of affection, it was for a purpose, as she releases a remove curse spell, which seems to take effect, although it does cause some serious pain and damage to Skathis in the process. But the mark seems to dissipate, and Skathis seems to feel much better. Many heals were thrown around from the entirety of the party to aid Skathis in what journey you may be facing. So we will rejoin our crew now, as you guys are still inside the Ember Temple. The sun is pretty much rising now as the light is starting to spill through the arrow slits and things like that. Why is Timmy not on my one there? That's weird. Interesting that Timmy's not on there. Oh well, it's all good. Timmy's not actually there anyway right now.
Nah, he was at the main
Yeah,
door.
he's at the main door. It's just something is not quite right here. Because I can see Timmy on my DM screen. Can't seem to click off. Why can't I click off targeting? Close that one. Oh, we're there. I can see him there, but I can't see him on this one. So for some reason the chat can't see him, which is odd.
Could be from whose point of view is there? Is it Zadriel or Fibble's point of view?
The point of view that the stream sees as a completely separate point of view, so I should be able to see everybody.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's weird.
It's just strange where the lights are going through.
Yeah. It is odd. And I can't seem to unselect you guys on my DM screen for some reason. There has been an update, so it could be because of that. No great drama at this point. We will just deal with it right now, because I mean this is more about roleplay at this point anyway, because obviously you're going to leave the temple. It's up to you guys now what you're going to do. So you guys now have... I'm just going to reload. You're going to have to reload your end too, guys. Essentially what's happening, the sun's starting to rise. It's over to you guys now. Skathis has recovered somewhat. You've offered some healing. Holy Jesus. Who's the loud person? Adok.
That would be Adok.
That was his goblin tummy rumbling.
Must be. Let's reload my end here and we'll see what we've got. Nope. Oh well, we'll deal with it. We're going to be going to a different scene shortly anyway. So, over to you guys as you are preparing yourselves for your day. Skathis has had the heals. You guys have gotten through dealing with potentially breakfast. Whether you've still got rations left or not, or whether Fibble... I think Fibble fed you guys the night before, didn't he?
Yep.
Which lasts for 24 hours, I believe. So you're good to this evening. I think you'll be okay. So it's over to you. What you want to do?
Skathis, do you think you'll be okay to travel?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all.
You're welcome, friend.
Does anyone...
Note to self, don't piss off a demigod or demon, whatever they're called.
Does that make you a quarter god?
No, I don't think so.
You think we can make it down to the tower we saw?
We can definitely try.
Oh, the day or morning is upon us, so I believe we should be able to get most of the way down the hill. Adok, do you remember? I think it didn't take us too long to get up here, did it? Day's travel.
It should be easier seeing we're going downhill.
Should be fine. I mean, we could push that giant robot thing, use it as a sled on the way down. Faster that way. I don't know about stopping, but on the way down it'd be quick.
Fibble's face doesn't look too happy about that.
People never is happy.
Oh, let's not dilly-dally. And Carlos starts putting his gear on and heading for the door.
Yeah, don't worry about moving. We'll be switching to a new scene very shortly.
I would like to, before everyone leaves, make sure Fibble gets rid of his alarm. And then I'll just say to the guys, right, everyone, I'm just going to stick my face out the door and make sure there's nothing to greet us, like A, Strahd, B, a rock, C, a giant Strahd-rock combo. I'm going to put my head out the door and just look up and down and around and see what's greeting us.
As far as you're aware, there is nothing there. You are... Oh, there we go. Had to put him back there. Oh, it must be a line of sight thing.
It looks like we are clear.
Indeed. As far as you're aware, you are all good to go.
All right, so, well, we survived that temple relatively unscathed. Don't know about you all, but I definitely came out fine. Nothing happened wrong at all.
Really?
Yeah, not at all. You know,
didn't touch all the altars. Almost.
look, that was a different person. That is a light year ago. That's a different... I've been cured. I was sick before I got here. You gotta remember, this is the real me, the real Adok, yeah? Your friend, someone who's with the party, who stands by their fellows and, you know, stood up to Strahd. Remember, I almost died. Karnos, you hacked into me before, didn't you? Because I was, you know, in the thick of it.
Mr. Stubb, can you hit him with one of those restoration grader things you use? That would be a great plan. He's died far too many times recently. And I'm hoping that Mr. Stubb's got a greater restoration he can hit him with after we know about these weird magic.
Pretty sure he doesn't have... He's got the flask, but I get the impression that Fibber wouldn't want to waste it on Adok.
Ooh. All right, have it you. And out the door we went.
So...
And following.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain... Just from memory, the recent events between Adok and Fibble, I do not think that Fibble would waste a greater restoration, maybe a lesser restoration on you, Adok. Which, let's have a look at your list here, because you do have a list. A lesser restoration, which I think Fibble would probably be more than happy to give. At this point.
Yeah, lower levels, that makes sense.
You would lose gift 3. So that was the last of the 3 gifts that you got.
Damn it.
Speaking of gift 3, Skatus, I need you to roll a d6 for me, please. Because I believe Adok used this gift on you at the end of the last session to give you a heal.
It would be a 1.
That would be a 1. Skathis, you have recovered reasonably well with all the heals that have been given out to you. You're still feeling a little nauseous, but you'll also suffer from 1 level of exhaustion as well. bear that in mind. You have disadvantage on ability checks until further notice.
Come on, Scaphus, what's taking so long? You look like you've got a disability.
Just a bit worn out from the night's events, that's all. I'll be fine though.
Carlos, that is not nice to say. I mean, we all pretty much look like we have disabilities at this point.
Well, I can say it because I actually do have one.
Speaking of disabilities and things that have not happened over the past 4 or 5 days, I need everybody to roll a perception check for me. So, Skathis, your perception check will be at disadvantage. Natural 20 from Karnos.
Leading the game with a natural 20. What a waste.
especially on just a perception check.
That's like eating your meal and your pudding and then getting a voucher to say you get a free meal and pudding.
Anyway.
That would be 7.
So, Zadriel and Skathis, you probably don't notice it quite so much, but Adok and Karnos, maybe it's just, I don't know, it's just a thing you're able to do. Adok, your goblin senses are definitely noticing it. You probably notice yourself first. Probably you as well, Karnos. You guys stink. Like, you guys really smell bad. None of you have bathed or showered, or you've done nothing of that sort for nearly a week. So with the amount of combat you've been involved in and the strenuous work that you've been doing, you guys are starting to get a bit whiffy. So you probably notice you'd probably notice your own scent first, and then realize that maybe, pretty much everybody, especially you, Karnos, everybody smells bad.
Oh, caramba. I take my 2 flasks from the side and there's only one way to master this. And I open them and I drink from one and I drink from the other, and they're like, this just tastes like water.
Indeed it does.
And we're walking and talking down the hill as we do this, and I'm like, Zadriel, I don't think your magic is working anymore.
So we'll then move to a different
More
scene.
flasks just taste like water. You hit them with magic last night. Does it have a time limit?
Maybe it's a curse like when Adok couldn't taste anything. That could be.
Oh, yeah, maybe you've got a curse on your magic spelling and you can't actually make anything wine anymore.
Oh, shame. Oh.
There's a shame. Adok, Scaphus, have you got any booze?
No. But what I'm feeling is that probably Zadriel hasn't turned your water into wine. Have a guess? Just saying.
Yeah, one of us is not disabled.
So I smell that aroma.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to cover with the booze.
I just got to say, Karnos, you smell absolutely fantastic. Never better. Love it. Keep it up. I don't know what you've done, but just keep it going.
I would say that I smell like a 3-day-old sheep that did it with a dog, but the dog was not alive.
Yeah, but doesn't it like make your senses feel alive? I don't know. I'm feeling a slight bit of arousal maybe or something. You get it, Zadriel? It's the it's like when you put it. I know what. When I get back, I'm gonna bottle a bit of your smell and turn it into a perfume.
Does one of you casting types have the spell? It's something called Town and Dirty or Down and Dirty or something like that. It's supposed to clean up messes.
I actually don't think anyone has the spell that you're referring to.
I'm continuing walking, shaking my head, going, I should have accepted.
And this whole time, Fibble's just shaking his head and just walking next to Timothy, who's making some pretty deep sort of trenches in the snow, which actually, funnily enough, makes it easier for the rest of you to follow, as his feet are much bigger than yours, and he's sort of carving out the deep snow. So what would have potentially slowed you guys down is giving you a fairly reasonable walking pace in this deep snow. So you're not doing too bad at this point. You travel for maybe an hour. The snow is not heavy. It seems to have slowed from the previous night. It's still bitterly cold, however. You are wearing fur-lined cloaks and the the extra fur bits and pieces that you'd picked up off the berserkers, and that has helped, but it is not great at this sort of altitude. So I need everyone to roll a Constitution save for me, please. The DC is lowered because of your furs. 22 from Zadriel, 12 from Adok, 7 from...
I'm at disadvantage, aren't I?
No, just for ability checks. Your saves are fine. So your saves just a straight save, Skatus.
Woohoo! 20.
Dirty 20.
Dirty
So
20.
everyone's pretty good. Adok, your hands are a little numb. You're feeling it a little bit, but everyone else is doing okay. Like, it's cold, but you're managing. You keep walking for a little bit longer. Is anyone at all watching the sky?
Yeah, Cameron said when he was coming out
I'd
the
be
door. Yeah, and if there are two of us, that's good.
So, knowing what you guys know about the rock that is definitely nesting in this area somewhere, you've seen it coming up the mountain, you've heard it the night before. So, the two that are watching the sky, Karnos and Skathis, I'll get a perception check from you. So, this will be at disadvantage for you, Skathis.
Ooh, mine's not great either.
Now, the DC will be relatively high because it's foggy, it's snowing, so there will be obscurities.
11.
That's a 17 plus a 0, so 17.
17's not bad, and 11's not bad either. Skathis, you're pretty certain you can't see anything. You sort of keep a half an ear out as well. The sound of it's not a heavy wind, but there is a breeze blowing. You're at a mountain, obviously you're going to have that sort of natural breeze running around the mountain. You don't seem to hear or see anything. Karnos, you don't see anything, but at one point, you're not 100% certain, but you think you might have heard the flapping of those large wings. It was off in the distance, so it didn't seem like it was an immediate threat, but it's definitely still in the area.
Okay. I'll keep that to myself and just make a note of it because it's not worth getting everyone rolled up. As we are walking, Karnos would drop to Zadriel's side as best he can. So, Zadriel, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm. What?
With your tenets through the deity we call the DM, do you, I guess, did you have a moment of clarity where they stood out for you?
When I was first chosen by the DM, yes, I could hear him very clearly. But I am Azimar, so Devas can talk to us. Have you heard anything?
I just feel a lot more confident in the tenets that I have written down. Oh, you may remember I wrote them down previously when we were back in one of the villages. I can't remember the exact one now, but I was sort of working on them. But I feel like I don't know if it was him directly, but I feel like the DM, he visited me in like maybe a dream in the night, but it was clear to me anyhow. Nonetheless, if you could save this whole entire space, Barovia, knowing that you yourself would be, I don't know, die, for example's sake, if you could save everyone, but it was just you who was left here in this place, would you do it?
I would pray for guidance. Because if the DM is as powerful as we think, he could save us all. But possibly. Maybe I would do it.
Possibly, maybe. All right. Have you ever been in a political party before? Because that's not really an answer, Zadriel. I feel like you danced over the answer very cautiously. Your tenets our tenets are slightly different, right? My top line that I created, because I know I have a flaw, it's this jibber jabber that I'm doing now a little bit, but actions over words is my main. It's top headline there. I'm trying to strive to be better. Actions over words. If I could save everyone by laying down my life, I feel like that would be a great thing. Whether it's laying down my life or freeing everyone just for me to stay here. Maybe raising horses. I get that.
I have changed my belief system already since I've been here. And if it's actions over words, you don't need my words to believe in what you want.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was kind of asking what you would do more than what your opinion was.
Vengeance at all costs right now.
Vengeance at all costs. I'll make a note of that. Thank you for your time. I know sometimes my questions can be out of the blue.
Yes. You are right.
Any chance you could hit, and I pull out my flask, any chance you could hit these waters with your wine? I'm limping a little now. It's starting to hurt.
It touches waters.
Do you make them wine?
Do you make them wine?
Yes.
I have a quick sip.
Does Karnos check?
Yeah, absolutely. He just sits and he's like, "Oh, yes, you are very good. I thank you." And I'd cork them after having 2 sips and put them back, and then sort of back. I keep walking beside her, but I just drop to no conversation, seeing that she doesn't have a lot of time for Karnos. Oddly goings-ons.
Any other conversations happening as you are walking, making your way down the path towards the bridge or the guard tower where you spent the night?
Unless no one talks to me, I'll remain quiet, walking down.
Okay. Haddock?
Yeah, Haddock, as I'm walking through, he's just going to be kind of shuffling and kicking the snow every now and then. It's going to turn to everyone and go, all right, so it's been on my mind a little bit. Kind of a little bit. Had a confrontation with Strahd. He didn't exactly kill us. He could have. We got our shit handed to us, but he left. He stole something, but we're alive. So, point of... Look, all right, I'm not going to say that I think he's a good bloke anymore. I've resided to the fact he's a bit of a dick, yeah? We can all agree that. I realised that just recently. But we did not have the strength to fight him. We kind of got our asses kicked, so therefore he's kind of let us live. Not really sure why. Probably because he wants to torture us slowly to death. Not quite sure. But either way, should we perhaps maybe barter with the devil, sorry Scafus, so to speak? Not literally the devil, but as in Strahd is, you know what I mean? Yeah?
Because that worked so well for you before.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know, maybe with a collective mindset and brain, you know what they say, half a brain is better than no brain. Is that right, Karnos? That's a human saying?
I'm not the brightest stick in the candle's mud water, but nonetheless...
Brightest stick, candle, mud water. Yeah, okay. Just gotta write it down.
Look, everyone, I guess Strahd, if I may have even said to you, he came to see me in a dream. Well, not even in a dream. It was pretty damn real last night, right? He's invited us to Castle Strahd-Ep, or whatever he calls that place. And he said if we come peacefully, we can have like a meal again, like he did last time, and a chat. And I think the feeling I get from him is he doesn't want to cave in, he doesn't want to give in, but he wants to be saved. He doesn't want to be here any more than anyone else wants to be here. He's stuck here too. That's the gist I get. Now don't get me wrong, he's a dick, like your words. I mean, everything we've said or done or whatever, he's kind of twisted like some weird blood-sucking grey-faced genie from some lamp. He's twisted it up, twisted it around, and done things weirdly to try and make out like he's not the bad guy. And we kind of see that he is, right? But if we can help him out of here and free all these people, there might be something in it. Thoughts?
So you think he's manipulated you, Adok, but this time it'd be okay. And you say, Kronos, that he's lied a lot, but this time it should be okay.
No.
Look, you raise a valid, very valid point, Zadriel, but I retort, we are currently alive. Yes, we are.
We fight
Correct.
him, we die, it's done.
Exactly. I mean, we could have, and we tried to, and we almost
At least
did.
we tried.
Exactly. We yeah, exactly right. Scavers, we have tried to fight the man. We lost, got sets of his power, and he's let us go. Maybe because he's gone, you know what? For some weird reason, you lot can stay alive. I am losing the structure
The idea.
of... Yeah, but...
Can I
don't know.
Here we go. Zadriel, how many times have you died here?
None?
None.
Unconscious or dead?
No, okay, I'm thinking dead, right? Dead. Have you
No, the only
died?
person, the only people that have died is Skathis, Adok, and Karnos.
Yep, that's how I'm getting to that.
Yep.
So I've died twice. I've been brought back. Skathis, how many times have you died here?
Twice?
Twice. Adok, and I'm pretty sure there's an extra number or two for you here. How many times have you died here?
Yeah, well, I mean 3, but if you count my this body, then 1, and then technically, because they're different versions of me, like an alternate reality, then it's
Okay,
kind
so
of 1.
out of all of us, Zadriel is the only one who has not actually died, and Mr. Stib has not actually died. Therefore, why is he keeping us alive and still walking and talking?
Yep.
Why is he keeping us alive? Does that if he could so easily have wasted us each time he's seen us, which we've all said yeah he could have, why has he kept us alive?
That was my point.
We're his new toys.
He's taken my amulet. He probably wants to take other things from us that we have found.
But he could kill us all and just take them. He's left us alive and carrying on because he wants to be free and we can do it. He knows it.
He wants.
Does he though?
Or he's just playing with us as he does.
Well, it could be like the kitten I had when I was a young fella who used to just bring in birds and then let them fly around the house and then grab them again and then let them fly around and then grab them again, rip their legs off and let them bleed out of it and then grab them. Hang on, I digress.
Everyone roll
Yes.
insight.
See,
Everyone roll insight.
Strahd is a kitten, yes.
So,
And everyone roll an insight check. This conversation leads right into an insight check about what you may or may not believe is going on. My God, guys.
I mean, I have a reroll
we
somewhere,
believe
but
nothing.
I mean, Skathis is at disadvantage anyway, so yeah. Zadriel, even you're borderline. Yeah, so I would say this conversation is pretty much exactly where you guys are at. You're not entirely sure exactly what's going on. Zadriel, you probably get a sense, more of a sense of why Strahd may have let you live. Obviously, the holy symbol was, the moment you produced it, became something that he was very interested in. For what reason, you're not entirely sure. But maybe that's the reason why he let you live, because he got what he wanted at that point in time.
Look, he ran away after he's gotten what he wanted. He'll come back. We just got to get safe for now. Maybe we could go see this Kresk that you have to go to. Irina, you said is there?
Yeah, I'll be keen. I mean, it's a long trek right across the other side. Up north of here. Man, 5 to 6 days, I think we discovered it when we got out the map. But yes, I'm still happy to do that. I was just throwing it out there that maybe we see him for a casual, peaceful dinner after we go to Kresk. He has said that we should be able to walk onto his grounds, free of attack. And I mean, if we walk onto his grounds and we get attacked, well, we're going to fight anyway, right? So, yeah, let's discuss it after Kresk.
That sounds like the best idea you've ever had.
Talking about Kresk, I would say by this point, just inadvertently, just the fact you have the Sunsword with you, quite often your hand just unconsciously reaches for the hilt and grabs the hilt. And every time you do, you get something from it, some sort of connection. You've got that connection with it now, with this entity that you believe is Sergei. It doesn't
I feel like
speak
Carlos rests his hand on it all the time.
It doesn't speak to you, like you don't hear Sergei's voice, but every time you touch it, you get a feeling from it. During this conversation, every time you mention Kresk and just inadvertently your hand goes to the hilt, and you get a sense almost of urgency, a sense of not like full on like urgent you kind of thing, but just that sense that okay, yeah, Kresk is the right move. You need to go to Kresk. That's the feeling you're getting. Go to Kresk. Get there as soon as you can. Kind of thing.
Yeah, we sort of said, yeah, we're going there, so I feel that from the sword and be like, yeah, good choice. Thanks for reminding me, Zadriel. I hadn't forgotten, but the reminders, we should go there. Apparently they've got some good food.
Also, Irina's not so keen to save Strahd. She would know, huh? Doesn't have a good viewpoint.
Yeah, I mean, save has a lot of, I mean, there's many ways to save someone, right?
Right.
You have war to make peace.
Doc, are you alright? Are you warm enough? You're a very tiny person, so...
Well, I can't feel my fingers, but I'm fine.
You wanna hop in the back of Carlos's sack?
As in his backpack?
Yes.
Or... Alright, just making sure. I mean...
You like
If you're alright with that, I can do that. For you, Carlos. Or I could... Yeah, you do smell good, but I just, you know... I don't know if we're on that... Have you carried me before? Because usually I go with Zadriel.
I mean, you can get on my back if you want.
I tied you up like a backpack around me for quite some time during the Ember Temple.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that.
I also have quite a lot of gear in my pack, and I've evenly weighted it perfectly. I think if I put you on there as well, I would start to struggle.
Right.
What do you weigh?
I'm just gonna pick him up. He's already got his hands up.
Fair enough. So Zadriel, you don't need to make a check for that. We know that Mr. Addock doesn't weigh a whole lot.
As soon as I get on top of Zadriel, I would like to start reading the Book of Understanding. Whip it out.
Whip it out. Whip it real good. So the Book of Understanding. Okie dokie. How many hours have you read that thing now?
Shit all.
Yeah, I know you
3.
haven't done a hot Tome of Understanding. What did we say you needed? You need to spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer studying the book's contents. You'd probably have to almost start again because you haven't touched it for quite some time. So your 48 hours would restart.
Damn it. Okay. All right.
No need for. I was going to get you one to make another perception, but I don't think you need to. What do you hear? As you are about rounding a small bend, you got on your right hand side, which is the side leading up the mountain, where you're coming around the small bend. You've got almost sheer ice cliff. It's just icy rocks. The snow's falling. Little slick here and there, so you've got to watch your footing. On the left-hand side, the pathway is only about 5 or 6 feet wide in places, narrows to about 4 feet in others. And down your left, you're looking at a sheer drop, 150, 200 feet. You're not sure because of the cloud and the fog that is collected. You can't see the bottom from where you are, but it is a big drop. You can hear the wind and everything and the echoes in the valley below. What also echoes in the valley below is, and it sounds like it's coming from above you as well. It's kind of hard to tell, but sounds kind of like maybe a bear. You're not entirely sure. It's just you get there's definitely an animal somewhere close, and you just hear that sort of low growl come through.
Doc, is that your stomach?
No, that is definitely, probably a wolf, or two, or lots of them.
Even though even though that was a wolf sound, it was definitely a lot bigger than a wolf. It was a lot deeper.
Right. Yeah, and by wolf I mean a wolf that had eaten another wolf, and ate another wolf, and then it's grown to be 3 times the size of that wolf. So maybe like a bear wolf bear, a huge furry animal that's aggressive and probably trying to kill us.
Now you can roll a perception check, everybody.
That's right. I have this lovely sword.
See
Nope,
what
5.
everyone gets. 18 from Zadriel. 10 from Skatus, 5 for Karnos, 17. So the 18 and the 17, Skatus, even with a 10, preoccupied with sort of whatever's going on with you, you're not feeling quite right. You all heard that animalistic growl or grumble, whatever it was. Zadriel and Adok, you both see it initially up on the slope above you, about 25 feet. You see a flash of sort of blue-grey fur zip between 2 large rocks. And then you see another just a little bit further up and around the bend, sort of just almost like a quick shadow, but you see these 2 figures moving, and they're moving at pace, but they seem to be keeping pace with you. They sort of move, and as you watch for maybe the next 2 or 3 minutes, when you move, they move, and move from tree to tree or rock to rock, and it's kind of hard to get a beat on what they are at this point. But there's something following you, kind of, you're not sure. But it seems to be keeping pace.
I make it very apparent that I get my hammer out and I cast light on my shield, my cantrip.
No worries.
Seeing her do that, I draw forth the sun sword, but I go, just be careful, it could be children foraging for food.
You really think children will be up here foraging for food?
You never know. It's just one of those, you've got to be careful. You should always sight your target and know what you're aiming at before you go for gold, because you just never know.
Zadriel, what did you see?
larger than wolf, moving about the same. Like a pack.
So we're being watched. Awesome.
We're always being watched.
Yeah, this one seems different.
Just be ready.
So, ever watching, you continue to move. Zadriel and Scathis, you've obviously... Did you let them know that... The others know that you'd seen something, or are you just prepared what you did?
Yeah, I just made it very noisily apparent,
Okay.
but yeah, Scathis
So
was
you're
asking.
you're carrying Adok in your pack. I would say that at this point, following suit, Fibble has gotten Timothy to pick him up out of the snow and is carrying him on his shoulders. Fibble's probably noticed, I would imagine, up at that height, has probably noticed something as well and has prepared himself. Sees got Charlotte sitting across his sort of lap across the head of Timothy, almost resting it there as a rifle rest. You move maybe another 40 or 50 feet, and then all of you now see and hear several large rocks sort of roll down in the path in front of you, and over the path and down the side. As all of you turn and look up, you see a large bipedal creature. In fact, I will show you what you see. See two large bipedal creatures covered in a blue-grey fur. Large tusks, big ears, huge claws. Their fingers, these things stand maybe 14 feet tall. They're massive. And they haven't come down at you, but they're definitely watching you. One of them sort of swaying backwards and forwards, turns around and grunts something to the other, and the other sort of, you see him reach down and pick something up from the ground. And it looks like a large boulder. What do you do?
I would like to, seeing that they've got tusks, large fur claws, I'm going to lift my hood back, very slowly revealing that my features.
Yep.
Put up a hand, wave to them, and then I'm gonna do a gun, and I'm gonna whisper bang as I cast message to one of them.
Okay, what languages do you speak?
Common and Goblin.
Okay, so which language do you try and...
Goblin.
Okay.
So when I speak in Goblin to them, I'm like, hello, do you speak a bit of Goblin, do ya?
You get no response. Which one were you trying to talk to? The one with the boulder in his hand, or the other one?
The other one.
The other one? What you do see, all of you do see this as Adok, you send your message. The one that you're speaking to sort of initially gets a puzzled look on his face, doesn't respond, but then turns to his mate, grunts a couple more times, and then lets out almost a blood-curdling howl. And you see two more bodies further up the mountain move forward. So another two of these creatures move forward and start to slowly move down the mountainside behind them.
I'm just gonna whisper to Zadriel and go, I think I made it worse.
Feeble, maybe cast some food and water, like maybe some meat. Maybe meat?
How steep is the mountainside they're climbing on?
It's pretty rugged and pretty steep. You're looking at maybe a 25 to 30 degree angle, so it's pretty steep. I mean, there's places you could definitely climb, but it's pretty slick also.
So I say to the group, just sort of under my breath, I don't know if they speak common or not, but just enough so everyone can hear us. Just go, they've called to each other, there's more coming. They have the high ground. Let's move quicker. If you guys have got a big spell you can hit the side of the hill with, maybe it'll come down on them. Let's move.
I don't really know if moving is an option. Maybe we should just stand still. I mean, they're lifting a boulder. Maybe if we get closer, they'll let it go. Maybe we should just, I don't know, try and find a way around them.
I'm picking they're up above us, so they're ahead of the way we're walking.
They're about 10 or 15 feet ahead of the path you're walking along. The lowest of the two is about 60 feet above you.
Yeah.
The one with the boulder is probably another 10 feet further up than him, and then the two that you've just seen move at sort of almost at the crest of the hill. So they're probably 100 or so feet above your position. It's kind of hard to tell whether they are aggressive at this point. I mean, picking up a boulder could be deemed an aggressive movement, but they haven't moved forward, and it doesn't look like they have. I mean, it doesn't look like they're about to attack. They're still kind of relaxed, like shoulders are down, apart from one that's picked up the boulder. It's kind of hard to tell whether they're maybe aggressive or whether it's a defensive thing.
The path we're on, how wide is that?
At the moment, it's about 6 feet, but it does narrow down to 4 feet in places.
Is it? Where you go?
There you go.
Any overhangs along the way?
Make a perception roll.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage. Perception check. Disadvantage, definitely. It's not bad, 16. From where you're standing, the path sort of goes forward maybe another 10 or 12 feet and then curves around to the right. At this point, you can't really see any natural overhangs. There could be, you did pass this way coming up, but you're not 100% sure. It's been a few days.
All right, cool.
I am going to whisper back down to Zadriel and go, all right, so I'm going to try and communicate one more time. The last time didn't go so well, and maybe this time will be different. Just be ready.
Maybe give them a ration. You want me to give them a ration while you talk?
Don't give them food, because maybe then they'll think that we're food. Look, it looks like me, but furry. Maybe I've got a...
If you recall, we gave you food. And you joined the party.
Karnos is still walking slowly down the road casually, like trying to not make it look like anything's going on.
Okay.
Are you trying to be stealthy? Are you trying to be stealthy? Like trying to move without being noticed?
No, I'm just sort of like just casually walking, just watching to see their reaction to me as these guys are talking.
I would going to reach into my backpack with Zadriel, grab. Oh fuck! I don't have rations. I'm gonna reach through Zadriel's backpack and try and find some rations.
How many rations has Zadriel got left in her backpack?
I think I've got. I know I've got some.
I know you guys took some with you when you left the Vistani
3.
camp. Okay.
3 maybe.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'm gonna grab the 3 out, lift it all the way high.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna make another gun symbol and cast message again to the other one that's not with the boulder as I'm waving the jerky. But this time I'm gonna speak in common.
Yep.
Very plainly, and I'm just gonna go, we, as in all of us, mean you no we have food. That one, and I'll point to Fibble, can make more food. Friends.
See it raise its head, sort of sniffs the air at this point, and then just goes, sort of snuffles and shakes its head, almost like a dog would if it's turning its nose up at something. Sort of, and then it grunts to the guy with the boulder again. You see him, both hands, raise it high above his head.
We'll go back down to that, Joe. All right, I'm definitely making things worse.
So, with that, I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative, as these creatures seem to have initiated the initiative sequence on this. So, Just gonna start our battle music here. This one's gonna be a bit of a theatre of the mind thing, but we will get the roll. So with that, Adok, you watch as this first one lifts this, and it's a big boulder, like it's not small, and lifts it high above his head, and then just takes a step forward and throws it in your guys' general direction. I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw, please. This boulder is about 8 feet wide. It's sort of 6 or 8 feet round. It's massive.
Doc, you've got my +5, I think.
I would say everyone would have the +5 because you would have stopped and sort of maybe grouped up a little bit. You're all definitely within that 10 feet. So Zadriel with a 15.
So I'd be 13 if
13
that's
for
the
Carnos. Scathus with a 29. Adok, what was yours? Oh, actually, Adok, you're on Zadriel, are you not? So your dex save you wouldn't have to make one. You'd be with Zadriel. So I'd say you'd be a 15 as well in this particular instance, just because you're with with Zadriel. What is Fibble's dexterity? I'm trying to think what his is. Actually, I will roll Timothy's because he is with Timothy. So good. So you all managed to dive out of the way as this large boulder slams into the path just in front of you. It does break away a portion of the path and then careers off the side and rolls down the side of the mountain. You hear it hitting other rocks and trees as it tears through the small shrubs and disappears into the fog below. None of you take damage. And then the bigger one, the one that you were trying to talk to, stands up to its full height and just grunts loudly and starts charging down the mountain towards you. The others following his lead. Carnos, you get the initiative here with Fibble and Shield Guardian after that.
All right.
They are 60 feet away from you at this point, so it's going to take them a little bit to get to you, but they are big and they are fast.
I look towards the way we're headed and I'm like, I'll stand by what I said, team, and then I look up at them and go, Lord Strahd has invited us to dinner. We're taking the long way round. He will not be happy if we don't get there. And I just use my movement full 30 feet to head further down,
so
and I use my action to continue that movement as far as a total of 60 feet towards the way we're going. Okay. And at the end of my dash, I sort of look over my shoulder to just make sure what the team's doing.
Okay.
And
so, firstly, I will get you to roll. You trying to intimidate them or persuade them? I mean, it's kind of a mixture of both here. It could be either.
So for me, yeah, I wasn't trying to be aggressive. I was just saying, hey, Strahd's invited us. If they understand common, hopefully they might get the gist.
Yeah, we got no ideas. So up to you.
I'll be happy with persuasion
or intimidation. So you make that roll.
They're both pretty high, but 18.
Okay, so that's it. And your bonus action, we will resolve what potentially happens on their turn.
I was just having a look for me bonus action. Oh no, I won't do it. I'll save it.
Okay, so Carnos, all of you hear Carnos say what he says, and then he just legs it, following the path, heading around that bend. You know these creatures have got they've got at least 60 feet to get to your position. They are above you and slightly in front of you. So Carnos, as you leg it and start to head around that corner, you see one of the top ones see you move and then start to sort of beeline to your direction. He's further up, so it's going to take him a lot longer to get there, but he's moving in your general direction.
Sweet. I don't see any reaction to any of my words at this point.
Not this far. You're not entirely sure.
Cool.
So Fibblesib and a shield guardian Timmy. Fibblesib seeing Carnos leg it, looks up there, and I would say with Carnos's previous comment, I would say at this point it would be entirely likely that Fibblestib would attempt to possibly set off an avalanche above these creatures, but not while you're in your guy's current position. I don't think he would be that silly. I think he's got a reasonable enough intelligence that he would want to get yourselves in a position where you are in front of these creatures, that they are behind you, before he'd attempt to do so. So instructing Timothy to also leg it using his movement and his action to dash, which will keep pace with Karnos, as Timothy's movement speed is roughly the same. So these large automaton legs just start moving towards the curve in the pathway. Next up is one of these creatures' turns. It sees you guys, the start of you starting to move, and it picks up its pace. It runs down the side of the mountain, bounding sort of in between rocks and rock. You sort of lose sight of it for a second, then it pops up behind a large rock. Then you see it on top of this rock, and then it just leaps from the rock and lands 20 feet away from the side of the path, maybe 10 feet in front of you. This would be slightly behind you, Karnos. The other two at the top definitely look like they're going to be doing something as well. Adok, is now your turn with Skathis on board, and then Zadriel.
Alright, so I'm still on the back of Zadriel.
You are.
Great, fantastic. Zadriel, you just feel Adok behind you start rattling through his backpack, and then all of a sudden, because remember how he put little mounts onto your armor? You start to feel a cannon being like drilled into and melded into your actual armor. And I'm sitting there going, all right, just stay still. We'll be done in a second. Just stay still. And I'm going to make a Eldritch Cannon.
Eldritch Cannon, no worries.
Cannon.
Attached to Zadriel's shoulder, no worries. Yeah. So we have Predator Zadriel with the shoulder cannon. No worries. Is that your turn? Is that all you're going to do?
Yeah, that takes an action to do.
Yep. Bonus action. You can't really move unless you're going to get down.
Well, I've got 120 feet range on the Eldritch Cannon.
Up to you.
I'm going to aim it at one of these things.
The closest one, who's now roughly sort of 25, 30 feet away from you.
The one at the top is what I'm going to aim for.
So one of the ones at the top. Okay, so you've got 120 foot range. You'll be able to reach it. It's around 100 feet away. It is elevated, so you would have to raise the barrel, raise your angle.
All
How
right,
loud is the Eldritch Cannon by chance? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I don't actually. It's a force cannon, so I would dare say that it lets off a fair bit of.
So it'd be loud enough.
I'd say it'd be loud.
Cause.
Yeah.
But it's not that what I'm worried about. I'm talking about the fact that it's being fired right next to Zadriel's head.
I can make it. I can choose the size of it every time I create it magically, so I can make it tiny handheld.
It's still a cannon, though. I mean, we'll resolve that in a moment. So you fire it with an 18 to hit. It does hit one of these creatures. Roll your damage.
Okay, it is 2d8. Takes a total of 10 damage, and if the target's a creature, force damage. It is pushed 5 feet away from the cannon as well.
Is there a save with that, or does it just happen?
No, it's just pushed away. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So that is not a problem. You strike it. It forces it back a little bit, and it stops it dead in its tracks. As it's forced back, and it stops, and sort of turns, and you see it turning and looking, and it again loudly grunts something down at the others down in front, and the one that it was up there with had started to move down stops and just waits. The two that are closest remain on track, however. So with that, we have the second creature's turn before your Skathis. It's pretty much the same thing. It charges down the mountain, but turns and starts heading towards Karnos and Fibble. It's not going to make it all the way, but again, it round through the rocks, through the trees, knocks a couple of small trees over as it sort of barrels, like it's going pretty quick. It's not going to quite make it, but it is definitely moving towards you guys. So Skathis, your turn, and then Zadriel.
So the pass, what'd you say it was?
It's approximately 6 feet wide at this point, but it does narrow in places. So at its widest, it's about 6 feet. At its narrowest, about 4.
And no real overhangers until I
Not
roughly
that
get
you can
around,
see.
is it?
Not that you can see at this point.
Well, that sucks. Because there is something I want to use, but if I use it, it's going to kill us all.
What are you doing, Skaters? You got 6 seconds, dude.
Run to where Karnos and Fibble are heading.
Okay, so you're going to use your action and your to dodge, to dash, or are you just going to run? Just use your movement.
Just use my movement.
Okay, so you got what, 45?
50.
Oh yeah, 50 now. So you can streak out in front of Karnos. You can, if you use your entire movement and dash, your movement will get you 10 feet away from where Karnos and Fibble are. If you dash, you'll get 40 feet ahead of them.
I'll dash.
So you shoot past Fibble, Sib, and Karnos. So they're trying not to fall off the cliffside. As a path, as you get around the corner, does narrow down to that 4 foot. You've got to just sort of scoot past.
Also, while doing that, any crevices or anything overhangs, definitely want to find an overhang.
What were you looking for? An overhang that overhangs a path?
Yes.
Okay. So you've used your action, so that'll probably part of your next turn. But because you'll need to make a perception check. So that'll be your next action if you want to do that. But at this point, you're just sort of getting around and out the way.
Yep.
Zadriel, it is your turn.
All right, so hearing that Adok needed me to stop, and now he has fired, and I have a ringing in my ears, no doubt.
You certainly do. I would say it's not going to deafen you, but you definitely have that audible in your left ear.
I am going to... How far away is the one chasing Karnos?
They're still up the hill a
60
little bit. They haven't reached them yet. They're still probably estimated maybe 35, 40 feet from down the side of the hill. The closest one to you is about 30 feet away.
I am going to command to grovel to the one that is closest to us, so we can make a getaway towards Karnos with a wisdom save.
With the wisdom save. Let me just check the... Ooh.
Hopefully they're not wisdomous. I don't know.
I think grovel just makes him go prone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It fails with a 7.
All right, so they will go prone.
So as you look out to this creature, this large creature, you can see how big it is now that it's gotten pretty close. It towers over you guys, and its broad shoulders, these huge claws on its hands that, you know, if it got its hands on you guys, it's going to do some serious damage. You reach out into its mind and say the word grovel, and it just almost instantly stops dead in its tracks and drops to one knee, almost in that lordly type of thing, one knee, one hand kind of thing, and it puts its head down and just stops and just stays there for now. So that is your action.
Yes, and I'm going to start moving as far as I can, following.
Okay, so what's your movement speed? 30 feet?
It is, yes.
No problem.
30
Even with the
feet.
ad hoc on in your pack, you're not slowed at all. The path created by Timothy has made it easier for you guys to move, in fact, so you're not slowed at all in the snow, as long as you stay behind Timothy. If you get out in front of him, where Skathis is right now, you will be minus 10 feet on your movement, Skathis, because you're out in front.
And when I get as far as I can go, I'm going to turn so Adok can face them.
Okay. So with that, we're now back to the top of the initiative order. Karnos, you turn slightly over your shoulder to see what's happening, and you see that the two at the top seem to have stopped. Skathis has just bolted past you and is headed into the deep snow further down, and as the path starts to slope downwards. You are now maybe, from what you can tell, 10 feet ahead of these creatures. as you come around the corner, you've lost sight of the one that Zadriel has just charmed, but you can't see it or hear it. So it's up to you what you do as you see Zadriel round that bend and start following you guys.
So am I ahead of everyone, including Timothy?
Scathus is out in front of you by about 30, about 40 feet. So he's actually shot way past you guys.
He's past me. Oh, that's right. He did run fast. Yeah.
You and Timothy are about the same. He used his
I'm trying to stay in Timothy's.
Yep. So if you sort of have him in front of you, he will essentially plough the road.
Cool. That's what I was hoping. And so basically Zadriel and Adok and Fibble.
Fibble's with Timothy. Fibble's been
he's
carried by Timothy.
Oh, you did say that.
He's on
right.
like shoulder ride kind of thing.
Okay.
Move it, Garnas.
What's that?
Fibble just says to you, move.
Yeah, so I'm definitely moving. I'm continuing with the same distance that, what's his name, Timothy's moving. Yep. So 30 at his pace. I had my drink, so I'm stuck at 30 for now.
No worries.
Can I see, if I was to launch something at the side of the hill, am I going to hurt my friends? That's what I'm looking at.
That would all depend on your role and what what you're doing, what your intention is. I mean, I know you want to try and collapse whatever down on top. Have you got anything that has enough range to reach above these creatures?
Oh, yeah. And I've got a single guiding bolt that will just do radiant damage to the top of the hill. That's what I'm looking at.
What's the range on it?
So I want to do it above them and drop things down on them, but I don't want to get my friends. 120 feet.
So you will be able to get above the topmost creatures, which are now, say, if you would estimate the distance behind, they're about 10 feet behind, but they're like 100 feet up on the hill.
Sweet. So I call out, right, the DM's in my favour, and I hold forth the Sun Sword, using that as my focus for the current time. And
no worries.
I just go, guide this bolt, and I just try and get it above just to hit the top one, so it's hopefully going to hit the top of the hill. And
no worries. I do have an AC for this. I didn't think you would, but just in case, I did actually create an AC and a HP level for this. So
okay, I guess it's a huge hill and I can hit it, but it's the case of how much I bring down. All right.
Exactly. It's how much damage
17.
you do. They definitely hit it. It's more about depending on how high your number is to hit as to where you hit, whether it's a sweet spot or not.
Sweet. And 16 radiant damage.
You strike the hill above, the radiant energy is released, and it hits in a great big poof of white fluffy snow at the top. You see it almost like the laser blast on Hoth, that shower of snow and debris above the creatures. Doesn't seem like it's moved anything, but it's definitely, you've hit what you think is the right spot.
Okay.
At this point, you don't see any movement from where you are.
I will stick with that one for now.
So you move your 30 feet and do that.
Yep.
Timothy and Fibblestip do the same. They move forward 30 feet, and Fibble sort of looks down from his perch up the top and says, "I got this." Rests Charlotte on Timothy's head and fires. I do not have his stats, but I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to roll a d20. I've got an idea of what it is. Yeah, he'll definitely hit. So Charlotte reports loudly, and you see that same puff of debris and snow and ice just to the right of where you hit, and you see the first chunk of ice sort of slide and slip and then lodge itself against a rock. You're on the right target, you believe, from what you've seen. So everybody in that vicinity, you would have seen what they're doing. Adok, you would have. Zadriel may not have. You kind of on the run. You sort of seen them shooting up towards the hill in front of you. It is now the first of the creature's turn as it hears it sees the spell and hears the thing. Does they get a wisdom save? Start or end of their turns, Zadriel, the ones that are charmed.
It says...
Is it a command or a charm?
It's just a wisdom save. Spells. It doesn't. The target cannot follow your command. Nope, it doesn't say. I can send it to you.
Yeah, just so we're clear whether they get another save or not. 'Cause I think command lasts for like an hour.
Target must succeed on a wisdom save or follow the command on its next turn.
Oh, so
That's
it
what
ends at the
says.
next turn. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this one will follow that command and stay in that position for the remainder of its turn. But next turn it'll be fine. So Adok, it is your turn then.
Adok's gonna see what Karnos and Fibble are trying to do, and then he's just gonna simply say, "Never get a gnome to do a goblin's job," and he's gonna use for the first time. He's gonna combine the feather that he uses for Featherfall, and entwine it into his flute. And as he does, he's gonna blow. And as he's doing it, Zedriel, you would feel an intense rush of cold air suck into the flute, and then be pushed out as he casts Wind Wall up to that exact very spot, which is 120 feet range, 50-foot long wall, 15 feet thick wind wall.
So are you trying to cast it at the same spot that they were just shooting at?
Yeah, to cause an avalanche, yeah.
So you're going to put it at the top, blowing downwards?
Yeah.
Yep, because I think you can choose the direction that it is.
You can, yeah.
The
15
bard
feet
can
high,
blow.
1 foot thick, yeah.
So, what is the damage that it normally causes if someone is caught in that?
3d8.
So roll a 3d8 for me. Because this is all about the damage done to the ice flow.
So 7 plus Arcane Firearm, which is the d8,
Indeed.
which is 8, so it's 15 in total.
15, no worries.
And there's a bonus action, the cannon's going to fire at the same time.
Same
which is
spot, roll to
3d8.
hit.
It's just a +9, which for a 27 to hit,
That definitely hits. It's a good shot.
for a total of 14 from the Eldritch Cannon. So
As
29.
the cannon reports again loudly right next to your ear hole, once again, Zadriel. I think this time you're probably prepared for it, finger in the air, and the rest of you watch as the wind wall forms firstly and starts blowing ice and snow, and you get that sort of swirling effect off the top of the ice flow as the wind forces itself down onto the snow and down the mountain. Then the cannon reports, strikes another section just to the left of where you guys hit, and with a loud crack you hear the first part of the ice flow give way, and you start hearing that rumble. 100 feet above you, you now see a portion of the ice shelf break off and start to slide down, collecting the first two of these creatures as they disappear in a cloud of white. Zadriel and Adok, you guys are in direct line of this avalanche as it has now started 100 feet above you. You're not sure how wide it's going to be by the time it gets to you, but it is directly above you. The rest of you, it looks like you might be just outside. You're not 100% sure. But the other troll that is coming towards you, Karnos, as soon as he hears the cracking of the ice flow, turns and looks and just bolts back up the mountain, like back up the pathway where you guys came from, and literally just bolts as fast as it can go. And in an instant, it's gone behind rocks and trees. It is now your turn, Skathis. As you've heard this, you look back and see the ice flow starting to come. And you're probably the only one that's truly out of its range at this point.
So I'm going to grab my rope, travel a certain distance back, and toss my rope to Zadriel because she's going to need it.
So you're going to travel. You were 40 feet. You were probably a good 60 feet out in front of Zadriel.
Yep.
70 feet roughly. Sorry.
So with my spear, because the rope's attached to it.
Okay, so you're going to move. How far are you going to move back before you throw the spear?
Well,
You've
we
got
worked
50.
out that 50. Well, the range of the spear is 60.
With the rope on it, it's only 40 because you had to tie the rope on.
40. So yeah, within a 40 meter.
Okay.
40 foot.
So you move back, say 20, 25 feet, and throw the spear towards Zadriel.
Yeah.
Do you offer any instruction with your free action as you do so?
Grab the rope. I'll help pull.
Roll to. You're not rolling. You're not actually trying to hit anything. You're just trying to roll a dexterity check for me, which unfortunately for you at the moment is a disadvantage because of your exhaustion. This is just to see. I mean, this is not about a roll to hit. You're not trying to hit Zadriel, but if
Oh shit!
that is a natural 1. As you you surge forward and you think, "Yep, I got this," and you throw the spear. Misjudging completely. Roll a d6 for me. Odds, Zadriel, evens, Adok.
5 odds.
Zadriel.
Sorry.
Odds for Zadriel. So Zadriel, roll. What's the damage on your spear normally?
Hang on.
Just
It is
what's the damage die?
1d8.
Just roll the d8 and add your modifier.
So yeah, that's +4 then, isn't it?
Whatever the modifier is on that, yeah. Modifier should be higher than +4 at level 11.
No.
Oh no, that's +4. Interesting. So 8 points of piercing damage as the spear that Karnos attempts to throw to you lodges itself in your left, Scathus, sorry, in your left thigh. So Zadriel, you now have a spear sticking out of your left thigh with a rope tied to it. So, Scathus, is that your turn?
Sorry.
So that is your turn. Zadriel, is now your turn as you have a spear sticking out of your thigh.
Zadriel will pull it out of her thigh with a jerk and yell, and I will start my dash.
No worries. So 60 feet of movement.
Yep.
As you surge forward, looking up to your right as this avalanche is starting to barrel down the side of this mountain. Chunks of snow and ice are now starting to like lightly pepper the trail as you move. We will now go into a skill check round.
Ooh.
Initiative will stay, but this is now a skill check as you guys are now running for your lives as the side of this mountain gives way. And not just where you struck the mountain, other parts of it are starting to give way as well, slightly in front of you, slightly behind. You are now running for your very lives on the side of this mountain. Back to the top of the initiative order. Karnos, I need a dexterity saving throw from you as a large chunk of ice. You sort of catch it at the corner of your eye as you start running. You're going to use your full dash movement?
I am, and I'm also... Oh, actually... No, I am, because it's dexterity save. So,
cool.
If this one piece is hitting pretty much just me...
It looks like it's possibly going to hit just you. You start your movement, you start running, and you spite at the corner of your eye. So you either need to quicken your pace or dive forward or whatever.
Yep, I get a +2 on top of this, so 16 because my shield effect.
No worries. So 16's enough.
16.
So as you surge forward...
Yeah, I'm running forward and I just sort of see it. I like to feel like a dive roll roughly, like not gracefully at all, just roughly to the side, just getting out of its way.
You take half a step to the side and you dive and slide on your shoulder and then push up off your hand. It's not pretty, but it's serviceable. You manage to get back up onto your feet as this large chunk of ice slams into the path right where you were standing and then ricochets off and down the side of the mountain.
Sweet, I just call out, go, 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 go!
7 Timothy, because Timothy's the one carrying, he is dashing. His dexterity is not great, but he's also an automaton, so his will be slightly different. He's okay with a 15. What you guys see is Timothy surges forward with Karnos. A similar chunk of ice and stone sort of slides down, hits a tree and ricochets into Timothy, but turns his shoulder, catching the brunt of it on his shoulder, and it just smashes into pieces and almost into a shower of ice and snow as he keeps running. Next up, Adok, you are with Zadriel, so we can kind of bypass for you. You have a free action. You can call something out. You can
Fantastic.
do something, but obviously you don't have to make a skill check.
I definitely will. Seeing Zadriel having a spear smash into a leg, I'm just gonna reach down and cast Cure Wounds at the second level for a total of 14 points of healing.
14 healing
the
damage
Zadriel.
for the Zadriel. Welcome in, guys. Raiders, Demon Gund, and Vampire Logan. Cheers, guys, for hanging out with us. Next up, is that all you want to do?
Yeah, pretty much. And then literally just have the cannon just basically.
Adoc's probably screaming like a little girl at the same time.
Yeah.
Zadriel, Skathis, your turn, sorry. Then Zadriel. So Skathis,
So,
you're out in front. So what do you? No, you went backwards, so you're actually in line of fire too. So you now have the rope in hand.
Did Zadriel come past me, or?
It's not her turn yet, so this is all sort of happening simultaneously. So she hadn't made it to you.
Okay.
No, she hasn't made it to you yet.
I yell, tie the rope around your waist, and I'll do the same.
So you can tie the rope around your waist, and you're going to then move. You thing is, you got to realize with you being tied to Zadriel, your movement will be reduced quite heavily, but you will not be able to dash.
I'll move in sync with Zadriel.
Okay, so you are essentially having to wait now for Zadriel to move before you can. So you guys will be moving in unison, and you'll be slowed to Zadriel's pace. So whatever movement Zadriel makes, you will make. And what we'll do is we'll actually tie you to the same initiative, which will be on Zadriel's initiative. You'll make your checks together. So with that being said, Zadriel, it is now your turn. Do you tie the rope around your waist, as Skathis has asked you to do?
I'm gonna wrap it around, wrap it around.
So you tie it around your waist. You start to move.
I think I'm gonna keep dashing, because that's a straight line,
It's curving. It's a slight curve and it's going downhill. So it's definitely you're going to be moving as fast as you can. You start moving. You're the last in line. You dash forward. Skathis keeps pace with you at this point. So I need you now both to make a dexterity saving throw. As chunks of ice and stone is now starting to pepper the path as you go. So we've got a 12 and a 20. You would get a +5 from Zadriel, Skathis, so you would actually be 25 on this, so you're good. You managed to dodge under, like you duck under, and just this thing just misses your head barely by inches. Zadriel, you're a little slower with your, maybe it's your armor, maybe it's Adoc jostling around in the pack, but you managed to move okay, but you do get hit. Adoc, you were raising your hand there, sir. Is there something you wish to say?
Yes, I have Flash of Genius that I can use.
Is that a reaction?
+4, it is.
Okay, so
whenever,
+4 to Zadriel's 12.
Yeah.
So that'll be a 16.
Basically, I'd be eyes and ears for like a piece of ice that wouldn't see, so that you wouldn't see coming towards her.
Good use of it. Well done. So, with that, instead, you do not get hit, Zadriel. You manage to 6th sense somehow. Something helping you somewhere. Maybe it's the DM, you're not sure. But you manage to just, in a split second, realize that there's this small boulder right next to your head, and you just duck your head down and it just flies over your shoulders, narrowly missing Adoc as it does so. But you are good for now. You're on the run. You're all moving down the mountain. The avalanche is getting louder as you sort of, Adoc, you peer over your shoulder and see the first remnants of the white out of snow just obliterating the path behind you. Back to the top of the initiative order, Karnos, still running. You move. You dash again.
Yeah, definitely. Unless someone's in dire need of my help, I'm just going. Look over my shoulder.
Look over your shoulder.
Dash again.
You look over your shoulder and you can see everyone behind you. You can see you're keeping pace with Fibble and Timothy. Timothy ploughing the way as you go. You can now look back. You've seen Skathis go back a while. You can see Skathis and Zadriel. They're a little distance behind you, but they're managing to keep moving as you watch the chunks of ice and snow and rock sort of pepper the path, and the path further up just disappearing under the snow.
Yep.
You managed to avoid anything at this point, so no check from you for this round. You are relatively safe. Is there anything you wish to say at this point?
How far does it look to the tower that we initially slept in, half the partway point?
Glad you brought it up. I wasn't going to. As you look back down the path, you can see maybe 250, maybe 300 feet, just on the edge of your vision in the snow and fog. You can see the outline of the tower, which you know is the old guard tower for the Selenka Bridge, the old Selenka Pass Bridge.
So as I do my first 30 feet, right before I dash, I call out, "We're so close, keep it up, team!" And I pull off my shield and I jump onto my shield. Like, I know it's only like a round shield, but it's enough to sit on.
Yep.
And I'm just going to turn on the shield and just scoot it like it's a hard out.
Okay, so with that then, we have a different check altogether. As you are on a slight slope coming down this mountain.
Yeah, man.
You drop your shield, you jump onto it, you grab on. This is going to be interesting because you're going to have some steering to do, because this path isn't dead straight. There is a bit of a curve and there's a massive drop off to one side.
That's right. Carlos grew up on the streets with skateboarding type scenarios.
So,
absolutely.
Are you seated, standing, or kneeling on your shield?
I'm seated. There's no way he couldn't kneel. His hip would hurt too much. He's just jumped on its seat, feet out, pointing the way.
How are you wishing to steer the shield? Have you got an idea of how you're going to steer?
Yeah, man. Carlos puts his hands on the side of the shield and he's going to lean his body and use his feet like he's in a toboggan scenario. He's going to use his feet and lean.
Awesome. So as you drop onto your shield and you start to scoot along the ice on this track, you now just shoot ahead of Timothy here as you rise up onto the snowdrift. Makes it a lot easier, a little bit more slicker as it starts to compact under your weight.
Oh yeah.
You will need to make a dexterity check here, not a save, just a dexterity check.
Just a check. Oh,
to determine how accurately you are steering your particular toboggan at this point. Remember,
absolutely
chat,
perfectly with a natural one.
Chat, remember you guys got advantages and things. You don't have an advantage or a
That's
inspiration?
right, I got this covered. No, I don't.
You don't?
No, but I got this covered. I had plans for this all along.
Right, so as you do so, you start to scoot. With a natural one, you think, all right, cool. You put the wrong foot down.
How close to the edge am I?
I was just going to tell you, you put the wrong foot down and you veer violently to the left towards the edge. We're going to hold you there at the moment. That's pretty much your turn. We'll come back to you.
I've got a good fail descriptive if you need.
We'll get back to you in a moment. You're going to have one more chance to save yourself from this. Timothy surges forward as well, just running. I'd say Fibblestep probably sees you jerk off to one side as you jump on his shield until you sort of take off to that one side. He doesn't really have anything, I don't think, that would help you in this point. But Timothy is going to try and reach out. As per his instruction, Fibble's instruction, to grab or even try and bump your shield back into the right path. You know, nope, that was a 1. Not a natural one, but a dirty one. He rolled a 2 minus 1. So yeah, as he sort of tries to bump you back on track, yes, jerk off. Bumps you back on track. He misses, just hitting the snow. Slows him down about 10 feet, but he manages to move okay without any kind of damage. Adok, you are still on Zadriel's pack.
Okay. All right. I got 2 things. First of all, Adok's going to look at this shit ton of snow coming towards us. He's going to yell at Fibble.
That's loud.
Say, we are not going to make it. We're using Timothy as a bobsled. and then he's also going to see Karnos like veer off to the left. He's going to go, oh, shit. And he's going to pull the cannon around, swing it, and he's going to try and aim it very meticulously to fire because it's force damage to veer him back.
A cold shot. Yeah. Here we go. So I'm gonna set a DC for this because this is not going to be an easy shot. It's a very precise shot to, again, essentially ricochet Karnos back onto the path or not, depending on the DC.
Just can I add also movement as well?
Movement for what?
He's on the back of Zadriel. We're moving as fast as we can.
I know. I realize this. This is why the DC has been set the way it has been set. So roll to hit. Because you are trying to strike a specific spot while moving.
26. And also,
Well done.
I have an inspiration. They're going to add a D10. If
You don't need to, not with a 26,
Okay.
dude. I set the DC at 20, so it was not an impossible shot, but it was a difficult shot. You line up, and for the first time since Adok has been in this land, his aim is 100% true. Like, he is focused. He's not going to lose Karnos. It doesn't matter what the cost. You fire the cannon. It reports loudly. And it strikes Karnos. You feel like a rock has just hit your left side, but is hit just under the shield, and it knocks you, veers you 90 degrees back onto the path and towards the right. You're still in trouble, but not as bad a trouble as you could have been. Is that you, Adok?
After letting out a vehement cheer, yes.
Skathis. You are keeping pace with Zadriel.
It's still doing
You
the
and
same.
Zadriel, we'll move you guys together. So both of you are moving together. Zadriel, is there anything you wish to do? Because I'd say your dex is... Oh, Skathis is probably a little higher, but you guys are tethered.
I had a similar idea to Karnos, but slightly different.
Okay.
I want to toss my shield and say, Skathis, get on, grab Karnos, and I'm going to anchor myself, and he's on my rope, so I want to swing him around if I can.
You want to stop on the path with an
I want-
avalanche
well,
coming
maybe
down
I
on top
can
of
run,
you?
But it's going to be a strength check, isn't it? I'm going to run
Either
and
way,
hope.
if you're wanting to try and... I mean, Karnos is a little bit ahead of you guys. Like, he's probably a good 20 feet ahead of you. So I don't know that you'd be able to make it
Then
to
I will
him.
tell Skathis to hop on, and I will toboggan him.
So
Yeah,
you're
I'll do that.
gonna just Skathis on the shield?
Yep. I'm gonna run, and if he's next to me, he
Yeah.
can be on the shield with the rope.
That would be better if Zadriel was on the shield, because I could probably keep up with the shield.
You could probably run faster, yeah, definitely.
You think?
He's got 20 feet of movement more than you, so yeah,
I'll
definitely.
slam it down and jump on it.
No worries. So another shield toboggan, no problem. So with that, we will resolve that particular shield toboggan then. So as you jump on the shield, you are tethered to Skathis. Skathis, you pick up the pace to definitely try and keep up with Zadriel, which shouldn't be too much of an issue with you. You are exhausted, so it may take its toll. I will need a dexterity check from Zadriel and from Skathis at this point. So this will be a collective. A, to see if Skathis keeps your footing moving at full pace, and Zadriel to see if you keep your shield in the right direction. You are tethered, so you will be a little bit better off. Oh my god, guys. That's not a natural one, but it's pretty close. That's a 2.
You know what's going to happen. You have to let it happen.
It's going to happen. So, Skathis, what was yours was a 24, so...
I want to go over.
not a save, Skathis, a check. Sorry.
Check.
Yeah. This is
that's
just to keep your
disadvantage.
footing. Yes, this is just to keep
This
your
is-
footing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not good, you guys. So, Zadriel, you get on your shield and you think, yeah, this is awesome. And you strike a small rock as this area has been ploughed by Timothy, who's in front of you guys slightly. And it sends you off to the left, not enough to send you over to the side, but enough to send you flying into Skathis, who is tethered to you, taking him off his feet. You continue to slide. You manage to right yourself, but Skathis, you're now on your butt, and you're being dragged behind Zadriel and the shield. So you're still moving, but you're being dragged across this rocky, icy path. So you're going to take some damage in a moment, but not right at this minute. So you guys, back to Karnos. As you've been veered violently to the right with this cannon fire,
Yeah, as soon as the cannon fire hits, I kind of something like, woo!
you are now heading directly towards a large rock, however, on the right-hand
Oh,
side of the
Jesus.
path. I will need a dexterity check from you
Oh yeah.
to attempt to right yourself. Which
I'm going.
Which is, I've given you a chance. This is going to happen. As Karnos, you go to right yourself, and again miscalculate. Maybe the hilt of your sword digs into the snow or something, but you are not able to slow. You're not able to correct your trajectory, and you slam into this large snow-covered rock, almost face first. And you're going to take, oh god, 16 points of bludgeoning damage as you slam into this wreck. No, you didn't make. You were opposite sides. So you slam into the rock. 16 points of bludgeoning damage. But you are now halted.
Myself the other way.
But you are now stopped. However, you will need to make a dexterity saving throw as debris is still coming down around you guys.
Okay, so the saves to avoid the debris and hopefully get started. Restyle, that's a check that. Tick save, there we go. Oh, that's a check, Baz, you idiot. There, that's better.
It's not bad, it's not bad. You still get hit. So you get hit, you get peppered with a whole bunch of small rocks and stones. You take 4 points of piercing damage as one strikes you in the side of the face, opening a small wound. So with
my
that,
face.
We'll say you're now prone and stationary. You still can, you still have movement, so you can get up with half your movement and start running again if you wish.
Yeah, I'd like to get up with half movement.
You'll have no more action left, however, because of slamming into the rock, the dexterity check and such. So.
No, that's cool. I'll just sort of get started, shield in hand, ready to do the same thing again. Okay. How far is left to get there? Do you think?
You didn't get too much. You didn't get too close. You rolled. They were pretty bad rolls right off the bat. So I'd say you've probably still got 150 feet at least.
So as I get up to run with the shield this time, prepping for next round, I'm going to try and get closer to the right hand side, away from the rocks, because they fucking hurt.
No worries. Fibble and Timothy. Timothy. Actually, I want to make a roll for Timothy here. As he charges now level with you, he's going to make a quick strength check here. Okay, he picks you up. You don't have to use half your movement. You'll have your full movement and your dash next turn. So you're still level with Timothy as he scoops you up with one hand as you hit that rock, drags you to your feet, and you keep pace with him. So you're able to use your full movement, 120 feet to the tower. As Timothy and Fibble keep going. No dex save for them, no good. Back to Adok. What are you doing in this moment? You are riding on a shield that has just collected Scathis, who's being dragged behind you as you're in Zadriel's backpack.
Currently shitting myself, but are we, how far away are we from Timothy?
I said you guys are about 20 feet behind them, so you've still got about 140 to go to the tower. Maybe a couple more rounds on this before you get there.
All right, I am going to cast down on Zadriel. I'm going to make a pentagram as powdered iron is going to encase Zadriel, and I'm going to cast enlarge on her.
Okay. So Zadriel, you swell in size and now are a size larger than you were before, sitting on a tiny shield.
And
no,
then
the shield will enlarge too. Like, it's a magical shield, so technically that would grow in size as well.
Yes. And Scathis is behind us, correct?
Yes, he's being dragged 30 feet behind you.
Great. I'm going to try and position the cannon, swing it back around. I'm going to try and fire it to propel us a bit more. Not at Scathis, hopefully.
Roll to hit and find out. Again, cold shot. You're trying to propel yourselves down the mountain a little faster. You're looking. 11. It was close. Like narrowly missing you, Scathis. This shower of ice, rock, and snow sprays up in your face, filling your mouth with dirt and snow, probably peppering your eyes so your vision's blurred for a moment. So any perception checks that you have for the next few moments will be at disadvantage anyway because you're on exhaustion. But your vision is slightly obscured with this. But you do manage to propel yourselves forward with a bit extra pace. Now we come to Zadriel and Skathis. Skathis, you're being dragged, so we will come to you in just a moment. Zadriel, you've now grown in size. You're now large. Your shield has become slightly larger as well. So does that give her advantage on strength, isn't it?
It does, correct.
So
And strength saving throws.
strength and strength saving throws. Well, unfortunately, these things require dex, not strength. But it works. You're now a bit bigger. You've picked up a bit extra pace, though. You're now only 10 feet from the others. You've surged forward. I need you to first make a dexterity check to see if you can remain on the shield. My God, guys. You're struggling. You're really struggling to stay on the shield. You stay on the path, but you're going to take a little bit of damage as your right hand gets caught between the shield and the snow in the path. 5 points of slashing damage as the sharp stones and rocks carve up the back of your hand. I'll need you all now, Skathis, Adok, and Zadriel, to make a dexterity saving throw as another large boulder is now careening down on top of you guys. Skathis manages to use the rope, sort of pull himself forward and roll. Zadriel with an 8. And Zadriel, unfortunately, you get slammed, and I'd say probably get hit in the legs. It will turn you as well, as this large boulder slams into your calf and knees on the right side, taking 16 points of bludgeoning damage. And you will need to make another dexterity saving throw as you're now heading towards the edge of the mountain. There are trees there, which you may bounce off if you make this save, which you do just by 1. The DC was 15. So as you take this damage and are veered heavily to the left towards the edge of the mountain, you strike a tree stump hidden in the snow, and it stops you. Doesn't take damage, but it does stop you. With that, Skathis, your next turn, we're going to have to come back to you. So we'll hold you there for a moment, Zadriel, because something's going to happen, because Skathis is still moving, whereas you are not, and you are tethered. Yes.
DM. Oh, so if she stops suddenly, does that mean Adok continues flying?
We will get to that on your turn.
I hope so.
We will come to that. I have a thought about that one as well. Karnos, we're back to you, as you have been scooped up by Timothy, surging forward once again. Dexterity saving throw, please, as more debris is coming down.
Dexterity saving throw. Oh, I'm going to
11.
I'm going to advantage that with the Blue Jays advantage.
Okay, you got an advantage. No worries.
Thank you, Blue Jay. I'll do that again. Oh, that's a natural 1.
So,
I'll take the 11, of course.
of course, luckily you can do that. You will take some damage here.
That's 3 turns in a row. I
I know,
rolled a 1, by the way.
there's some natural ones going around tonight. 8 points of bludgeoning damage as you get slammed into ribs by a large tree branch.
God, is there never any way to fall off the edge of this cliff? I was running to the edge. Stupid Timothy in the way. 11, did you say?
8 points of bludgeoning.
Oh, 8.
So it is now your turn. You are able to do whatever you wish to do in this particular moment now. You have your full turn, so you can use your action and everything.
Sweet. Yeah, so I'm going to, well, I think I said I'll grab the shield in my hand. I'm running diagonally towards the outside edge of the, so if I do, I don't want to hit rocks and shit. I'm taking my time, taking my care, and I'm going to sort of run, jump onto the shield and skid, and hopefully, I don't know if it's going around a corner or if it's going straight, but I want to stay on that outside edge.
You've gotten past that bend now with that next lot of movement.
No more bend.
And it's more or less a straight shot to the tower.
I'm still staying on the outside edge because that rock face hurt.
Be no need for a dexterity check yet. There will be one soon, but right now you're good. You see you're on a straight shot, and you on your shield, and you go, and you're moving.
And as I go, I call out, "If we fall off the edge, we get to the bottom faster, all right?"
No worries. Fibblesib and Timothy. Timothy, again, just dashes forward. He falls a little bit behind you, Carnos, as the speed that you pick up with the shield sliding on top of the snow. Timothy just can't quite keep up, but he's still going. No dexterity check for Timothy. He's good. Adok the Grey. As Zadriel slams into the tree stump and comes to a sudden stop, I need you to make a strength save, please, to try and hold on. As you were propelled forward pretty quickly. You do not hang on. You are propelled forward at a great rate of knots as you were hurtling towards this thing pretty quickly. You're small enough, however, that you slam into the top of this broken off tree stump. And you will take... This is going to hurt, by the way, just so you know.
I do have a reaction of featherfall.
You would not go far enough, and you're not actually falling. You've been propelled forward about 5 feet, right into a tree stump.
Okay, cool. All right.
So you take 36 points of bludgeoning damage as you are slammed face first into this tree stump in the snow.
Holy crap. Oh my god, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Am I conscious still?
Are you conscious still? I don't know. It's
not by much.
Yeah.
So that is what happens to you. You got movement.
Oh, I gotta do a concentration check because
you do.
it's
which spell's that one? Oh, the enlarge.
Enlarge.
Yeah. So it'd be half damage or DC 10. So half of third. You failed. So the enlarge has dissipated. So Zadriel, you shrink back down to normal size, which is probably not a bad thing in this instant. So that is you. You're now not on Zadriel, by the way. Oh, you're actually probably in Zadriel's lap. So you're on the shield with Zadriel. You're not in the pack anymore.
Look, I full think that Adok and I would be stunned at this point, at least for it.
Definitely, that was a pretty hard shot. So with that, Scathus, we're going to resolve what happens to you as a result of this. You're still moving, and you will slam into the back of Zadriel and Adok. What reactions do you have to potentially stop this? Otherwise, it'll be a dexterity saving throw.
Possibly acrobatics.
No, it'll be a dexterity saving throw because you're tethered and you've been essentially slingshot forward with her stopping suddenly, and you're still moving.
All right, dex saving. No, I'm not.
11. No, you don't. So, unfortunately, you're both going to take damage as you slam into Zadriel's back. It's not going to be huge damage, so 9 points of bludgeoning damage each. As you, and now all three of you are just a crumpled mess on this stump. So we're going to resolve you guys. I mean, you're on the shield, Adok. Zadriel, you've stopped. Scathus, you're there. What are you going to do?
How big is Zadriel's shield?
It's just a regular kite shield, isn't it? Zadriel. Yeah, so it wouldn't be big enough for two people to sit on.
Well, I was thinking Zadriel sits on it with Adok, and I stand on the back and use my foot to steer.
I like it. I think we'll give it a go. If Zadriel is willing, it's essentially more or less turning it into a sled, kind of.
I will do it, but I will cradle Adok and hold him for 20 points of lay on hands healing.
So 20 points of healing damage for Adok with lay on hands.
And I will just shield him with my arms.
Awesome. So that will actually probably help Adok in this position. So you guys, Scathus, you push off again. Get yourselves moving. I will... Ooh, how are we going to do this? We'll take a collective dexterity saving throw from Zadriel and Scathus, and I'll take an average because you're now rolling as a unit. My God, guys.
Shit.
The saving grace here, Zadriel, even though that was a natural 1 on your part, saving grace is a 24. Because you got over a 20, it's going to bring that average up. Not by much. You're still going to take damage, but it's going to be a whole lot less than you could have taken. Could have been a whole lot worse. So you guys take another 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you're peppered by debris. And you now looking up to your right and behind you. If you don't get moving, you guys are going to be swallowed in this avalanche. You are so close to being lost.
With that, I start putting my foot down to get more speed up.
No worries. We will resolve that in a moment. We'll be back to Karnos. Karnos, you are hurtling down this path. You are now within maybe 40 or 50 feet of the tower. You can see that one of the carts is still there from where you are. You can see that one of the horses still remains, which is kind of impressive. You expected that maybe the rock would have eaten the rest of the horses as well, but no, there's still a horse and a cart at the tower. The tower is void of any light or anything like that, because why would there be anyone there? So one final dexterity saving throw from you. No, dexterity check, sorry. You're out of danger where you are. Just a dexterity check. Acrobatics, we'll say. Acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
Ooh.
For the remainder of your journey down to the tower.
Well, acrobatics is dex, athletics is streaks. So I'll
we'll
say
go
acrobatics.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm getting that closer. I feel like Carlos is doing yes, toboggan tricks. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do a spin. So he does like a full round the circle type thing. He's like, yeah, I'm
get a
nearly
natural one.
And he calls out, look out, horsey, incoming. Natural fucking 20.
Nice. About fucking time.
I wanted a one. I want to go over. I mean, I had so many plans for
you're
going
so
over,
confident, Karnos. You don't just do a spin. You stand up and surf it the rest of the way in.
Yeah.
And you get to the point where
back and I go, cowabunga, dudes.
you get to the point where the snow thins out and it starts hitting the path again, and you just step off the shield and take those 2 steps and just stand by the door waiting for your friends that are coming down the mountain behind you.
I kick up the, you know how skateboarders kick up their skateboard? I kick up the shield, grab it in my arm, and I lean on the horse like I've been there for like hours waiting, and I just lean looking at the guys coming in.
No worries. With that, shortly after that, Timothy and Fibble join you, and sort of Fibble turns to look up the mountain to see what's happening with everybody else. Because you guys were stopped at the top, you're a little way behind. You're still in danger. So again, Adok, you were fairly well stunned, but you got a bit of a heal there from Zadriel. You were being cradled in her arms in the front. You can see the tower. You can see Bibble, Karnos, and Timothy at the bottom there. All 3 of you can. Skathis is pushing as hard as he can to try and get you guys some speed.
Okay.
Is there anything that you wish to do to potentially aid these guys? Because these guys are going to have to make one more save before we make a check to see what happens.
I'm going to wake up from my dazed state, look out from the cradle, look at what's going on, see how close we are to the snow and everything.
It's right on. It's like literally, if you've got maybe 20 feet you got to cover to get out of danger. Otherwise, you're going to get swept off the side of this mountain. That's how close it is.
Zadriel's just gonna hear a and as that happens, you're gonna feel cold air suck in once again from the flute, and the scream is then gonna blow out into the flute as I'm gonna cast Wind Wall again directly behind us.
Awesome.
In a line to propel us through.
No problem. We will forego the dex save as that will propel you forward quite quickly and quite heavily. But we will still need a dex check from Skathis, who is on the back, who is steering.
$14.
And that's not bad at disadvantage. Not bad.
Plus, I get the +5 from Zadriel too, wouldn't I?
No, that's for saves, not for checks.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a save, not a check. But yes, 14's not bad. With a 14, welcome on in, Raiders, Dice Legends. Good to see you guys. As you push again, hanging onto Zadriel's shoulders, pushing the shield forward, the gust of wind propels you guys, shoots you forward at a great rate of knots, and you manage to just make it outside of the danger zone as the avalanche just collects the path behind you guys. As Adok and Zadriel, as you turn and sort of look, as you hear the rumble is deafening. The path behind you guys is gone, and it's just snow and rocks and trees and debris. You coast that next sort of 40 or 50 feet down the straight path and come to a slow halt in front of Karnos and Fibble and Timothy. I'd say all of you probably breathing exceptionally heavily at this point, as you have narrowly escaped being swept away by a great avalanche coming down the side of this mountain. And that will end our initiative order, guys, and end our combat as well.
Oh, what took you guys so long? I've been waiting here for quite some time now.
Doc, did you shit yourself? Get off of me.
I untie the rope for myself. Zadriel, you didn't happen by any chance bring the spear with you, did you?
I could hand deliver it to you the way you did to me, if you like.
That was an accident.
Yeah, I must commend you. Zadriel, that was awesome. Jumping on and surfing, well, trying to surf with ghakis at the same time, ropes to you. I was wondering how it was going to go as I looked over my shoulder. And propelling yourself with the cannon, Adok, was an ingenious idea. You guys have taken my words, challenges are but tests, perfectly. What is that?
Hearing that, Adok's just gonna sigh and go, I'm done. Take me. I don't care anymore.
As you all look skyward, as you hear the flapping of the large wings and see in the shadows above the clouds the large bird that you know to be the rock seems to be circling above you. What do you do?
We see that bird a lot. Maybe we should give it a name, like
Fibble just
Dwayne.
says, everybody get inside.
People, Adok, get
Get the
inside.
horse.
What about the horse?
Horse too.
Does this thing have doors, like in the picture?
It does have a door in the base. It'll be big enough. The horse will get through. Timothy will get through. He'll have to crouch and sort of scoot through, but he'll make it.
What about the cart?
The cart will not get inside, however.
Zadriel, give me a hand to close these doors.
I will aid Karnos to close the doors.
You all get yourselves indoors as quickly as possible. You bring the horse inside as well. Its hooves hitting heavily on the stone floor. Seemed a little panicked even when it heard the wings as well. Then after maybe 10-15 minutes of just waiting, just gets quieter and quieter, and then eventually stops. And that's where we'll call tonight's session, ladies and gentlemen. We will revisit our team who have holed up in the guard tower at the Selenka Pass Bridge on Ghakis Mountain. Well done, team. You managed to make it almost off the mountain in one piece. Oh my god, the natural ones, man. Holy shit. Welcome in, Raiders. Unfortunately, we are just finishing on. We will carry on the raid. However, we will move on and share our viewers and your viewers with other people as we finish our session tonight. Blue Jay, well done everyone. My stomach hurts from laughing. There was so many moments that could have gone horribly wrong. I mean, so many moments. I was waiting for Karnos.
Way too nice.
I was. Karnos should have been off the side of the mountain for sure.
Yeah.
100%. But
I just got to laugh. Karnos wanted to actually go off the side.
It would have. I mean,
So I've got a ring of featherfall on. I would have just put my shield over my head and gone.
Yeah. That's part of the reason why I didn't allow him to do it, because I know he's got it. So it was like kind of anticlimactic to have him not die. So
I was like, damn it! If I'd have gone over, it would have been so much cool.
It would have been fun, but slamming into a rock was kind of fun too.
that hurt more.
Definitely did. So as we always do, guys, chat, anyone that's new into the chat, what we do at the end of every stream is we go around our players and you guys in the chat as well and get some moments from tonight's session. So we will start with Zadriel tonight. Any moments that stood out for Zadriel, whether it was yourself, other players, DM, even chat, because the chat kind of participate in this as well sometimes. There are some moments that get said in chat which are kind of funny. But chat, at Evldoa, a moment from you, we'll read them out after we get through the guys. So Zadriel.
Congrats on keeping the suspense up, DM. That was very good.
I've got to keep you guys on your toes somehow.
Every time Adok goes, I love it.
I got a clip of it this time, so that's going to make it. And that's going to make it into the.
How's Zadriel's ear, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, perforated eardrum for Zadriel.
And that is it for me.
We'll use that to segue into Mr. Adok the Grey.
I will definitely say that the entire avalanche scene was my favorite thing, and just everyone coming together. The hilarious part was just Scathus trying to be helpful and just throwing the spear straight into Zadriel's leg.
It's a theme for you guys. I remember right back at the start of the campaign, someone throwing a javelin into another party member.
Yeah.
That's right.
Karnos' shoulder.
No, that was my shoulder, actually.
No, it was Karnos.
Oh,
I got one as well.
You've
Yeah.
both been hit. Yeah,
It's karma.
it's karma.
Yeah.
So Zadriel threw a javelin at both you guys, I believe, but Karnos was the first, and that was in the death house, I believe, with the door mimic. So it was brilliant.
We've all been abused by other compatriots now.
Anything else, Adok?
No, it was definitely a highlight, and obviously Karnos using the shield, and then Zadriel following suit, and then just going completely south from there. Just
The
so
rolls
south.
tonight, guys. My God, they were terrible. There's some good rolls too, but there was a lot of natural ones in there. It was crazy. I didn't keep track, but there was definitely a lot. I know Karnos rolled like 3. It was crazy, maybe even more. But Scathus, a moment from you, sir.
So yeah, Karnos' shield sliding. That was fun to watch. The fact that he also wanted to go over the side, but anyway, and Karnos talking to the trolls that Strahd wants us instead.
Well, you never know. I mean, unfortunately, they didn't speak common, so they didn't actually understand anything you guys were saying, and just saw you as food. So,
and also Adok's flash of genius on Zadriel.
yes, that was definitely a saving grace, 100%. So,
Of course, the nat one on the spear throw.
that was always going to be a moment. And Karnos.
Yeah, I have to say ingenuity from everyone. Like Adok, I had written down that you were talking about my sweetest perfume, and then but then later on when this thing happened, I was like, there's a wind wall going up, there's a cannon going off to shoot you, faster. That was so good. Scathus, using his full speed to bolt faster than everyone, then grabbing out his rope and spear to try and help out others. Now, okay, it didn't go perfect, but just the ingenuity of it. Zadriel, so we're all trying to sort of do different things while we're running away, and so she's trying to load Scathus onto the shield too, and it's just everyone's trying all these cool different things out, and it wasn't working greatly because of the dice, but it was just a lot of ingenuity.
And that's probably the whole reason why I didn't kill anyone with natural ones, was because of the ingenuity of it all. I kind of expected maybe Karnos to try and use a shield toboggan. I wasn't sure, but to have Zadriel do the same thing, and then the idea
she
of,
mentioned that she wanted to do it prior.
yeah, possibly. But then Scathus doing, like, essentially turning her into a sled, like standing on the back and pushing them to get a little bit faster and things like that. Just little things made it more interesting. So, which is essentially why I didn't have you guys just completely obliterated on the mountain, because I really didn't want to kill you guys that way. I want Strahd to kill you guys. So we're going to have you guys die in the most gruesome way possible.
And then Zadriel, prior to that, before all the tobogganing started, the command of grovel for one of those creatures, which worked. I was pretty impressed with that too. I actually wasn't sure what was going to happen there.
I wasn't sure whether they were immune to it or not, but they weren't. So yeah, that failure roll.
Just seeing something that big and nasty sort of
gave
bend
you
down and give us a moment to get out.
That's what was definitely stopped you from being mauled by about 9 ice trolls, because there was 9 of them on the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
And they are nasty creatures. So,
yeah, part of the reason I kept asking about whether there was overhangs and all that, because I was going to use Thunderwave.
I kind of figured, I knew the moment someone started talking about sort of where they were and what the terrain was like, that we were looking at an avalanche situation. I kind of, when I decided to add this particular scene in, I didn't know whether you guys would or not, but I put it in there. Like the AC was 10, and it had 50 hit points. You had to reach 50 hit points to break the ice shelf free. Depending on where you guys were when you did it, was essentially what resulted in either the skill check or you guys just wiping out the trolls. So if you guys had been further down the mountain, you would have just wiped out the trolls, you guys would have been safe. But because you guys were just there and there was shots from both angles, it kind of made a bit more of an avalanche than it possibly could have been, which turned it into the skill check, which I thought was really cool. And you guys did so well. I think everyone did extremely well. So in the chat here, we got Karnos with a shield and suggesting that Zadriel should throw Skathis off the edge with a boulder in chat. Skathis the rope spear and Zadriel's leg, and Adok the wolf description. Yes, that was kind of interesting. And what Baz called Strahd's castle, it was castle something, right? Stradlington or something?
Stradlington, I think I said. I don't know, it just came out.
Everything just comes out with you guys. But that's how we like it. Improv is the best form of RPG. So, that being said, thank you very much everyone for hanging out with us. Thank you for the Raiders. We had Demon Gun coming in. And Dice Legends, another Kiwi channel. So make sure you guys go check out their channel. Chuck them a follow. Dice Legends, I've just recently followed. Bunch of Kiwi actors, I believe, from what Baz was telling
Kiwi
me.
actors from a couple of, I recognise them from a couple of TV shows.
Yeah, so
they're all pretty comedic.
Yes, Armin as well. Make sure you go check out Armin subbing for 2 months. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate it very much. Armin is an American living in New Zealand who does D&D stuff, mini painting and all that. Go check him out as well. I think we've had a shout out for him before, but we're going to do it again. Why not? Because I can. There we go. Make sure you go check Mr. Armin out, and also Dice Legends, guys. Thank you so much for the raid. Make sure you go check them out and chuck them a follow. Catch them up when you can. Tomorrow, guys, I'm doing a sponsored stream for Raid Shadow Legends. There is a link in the Gilded, which is my custom link. If you download it, which is free to play on PC and on mobile, but if you download it on PC using my link, I need 10 people to get to level 12 to hit the first kind of step, and then a few other bits and pieces after that. There's also a promo code there which you can put after you've gotten through the tutorial, which will give you some free stuff in game, and then there may be another promo code when you reach level 15. But I'll be essentially being tomorrow's stream will be sponsored by that, so I'll be playing it myself, and then the sponsorship will be open for a week, basically 6-7 days. So you don't have to do it all at one time. It takes you about an hour to get to level 12 from what I understand. So if you guys could help me out with that, it'd be amazing. Again, don't have to, but I will be playing it on stream. From what I understand, it's actually kind of cool. From what I've seen, it looks really good. Graphics really cool. Turn-based kind of mobile game with lots of cool champions that you can customize and such. We're going to raid Lost Archives, guys, another D&D channel. I was going to raid Era, but we've had a couple of D&D raiders come in, so we'll carry on with the D&D theme tonight, and we will send you guys over to Lost Archives. So we will see you guys tomorrow night for the sponsored stream. We'll be back here on Sunday for more D&D with Homebrew Campaign 2. Yanti, you streaming this week? I know you had a week off. Are you guys doing your stream Friday or no?
So far, so good.
So far. So If you've got nothing to do on a Friday night, go hang out with Ms. Yanti. More D&D over there. Stormlord's Wrath. Sleeping Dragon's Wake. I'll get it right eventually. Sleeping Dragon's Wake over there with Yanti and the crew. You may see me over there at some stage. I have played a part in that particular campaign as well, which you may see him return on occasion. But definitely hang over there with those guys on Friday and back here Sunday. More D&D. Take care, guys.